In my recent trip to the Philippines, I got to experience the best of what this beautiful country has to offer. White sand beaches, amazing diving spots, and one of the most picturesque train rides I've ever had. The Cordillera region is known for its natural beauty, and that was certainly evident in our journey from Manila to Banaue. Here are some of the highlights. Our first stop was Sagada. We took an early morning bus from Manila, which took around 8 hours to get there. If you want more information about how to get there, check out the previous video in this series. We were able to check in at our Airbnb quite early and left our stuff there before heading off on our Sagada adventure. Sagada is home to the famous hanging coffins. These are coffins that have been suspended inside caves, which is a burial practice by the local indigenous people known as the Ifugao. There are several caves with hanging coffins, but we visited the ones at Echo Valley. The trail leading up to the caves is a bit steep and rocky, but it's well worth it for the views. Once you're up there, you can walk among the coffins and take in the breathtaking scenery. The mountains around Sagada are truly stunning, and the views from the hanging coffin caves are absolutely priceless. After exploring the hanging coffins, we headed back down the mountain and into town. We stopped at a local restaurant for lunch where I tried a specialty called pinik pican. This is a sour soup made with chicken, vegetables, and a special rice paper that acts as the broth. It was delicious. In the afternoon, we decided to go on a little hike. We took a van to a village called Kiltapan and then walked up the mountain for about 2 hours. The trail was pretty steep, but again, the views were absolutely worth it. From the top of the mountain, we could see the entire valley below us, and in the distance, we could even see the rice terraces of Banaue. We stayed at the top of the mountain for a few hours, just taking in the scenery and taking lots of photos. As we started to make our way back down the mountain, we stopped at a viewpoint along the way to take in the panoramic vistas one last time before heading back into town. We booked a traditional massage for 2 people, 30 minutes each, and it was such a great experience. These masseuses were so strong, and they really knew how to work out all the knots in my shoulders and back. I felt so relaxed afterwards. The next day, we woke up bright and early for another adventure. This time, we were heading to the rice terraces. The drive from Sagada to Banaue is absolutely stunning. The roads are winding and the mountains are steep, but the views are absolutely breathtaking. As you round one corner after another, you'll find yourself in awe of the natural beauty that surrounds you. The mountains and valleys of the Cordillera region are truly a sight to behold, and the rice terraces are no exception. We stopped at a few viewpoints along the way to stretch our legs and take in the scenery, but we were eager to get to Banaue and explore the rice terraces there. When we finally arrived in Banaue, we checked into our Airbnb and then set out to explore the town. Banaue is a small town, but it's definitely worth exploring on foot. We strolled through the market, which was bustling with activity and full of vendors selling all sorts of goods from fresh produce to handmade crafts. We also visited the Banaue Museum, which showcases the history and culture of the region. In the afternoon, we headed out of town to explore the rice terraces. We took a jeepney ride to a village called Batad, which is home to some of the most picturesque rice terraces in the region. The drive was bumpy, but the views were absolutely stunning. Once we arrived in Batad, we walked around the village and then started our hike to the rice terraces. The hike was about an hour long and the trail was pretty steep, but again, the views were absolutely worth it. From the top of the hill, we could see the entire Batad rice terraces spread out before us like a patchwork quilt. The rice paddies were green and gold in the afternoon sun, and the mountains in the background were a stunning backdrop. We spent a few hours just walking around the rice terraces, taking in the scenery and taking lots of photos. We also stopped at a viewpoint to get a bird's-eye view of the terraces. And we even got to see some locals working in the fields. They were planting rice seedlings and they were happy to pose for photos. As we started to make our way back down the mountain, we stopped at a viewpoint along the way to take in the panoramic vistas one last time before heading back into town. We decided to book a tour for the boat ride, and it was definitely worth it. Our guide was knowledgeable and friendly, and he gave us lots of information about the area. He also helped us spot some of the wildlife, including monkeys, birds, and butterflies. The boat ride itself was an adventure. The water was choppy, and we had to navigate through narrow channels between the mountains. But the scenery was absolutely breathtaking. The limestone cliffs and caves were covered in lush vegetation, and the water was crystal clear. We even got to see some families of monkeys along the way. One of the highlights of the boat ride was when we reached the famous Blue Lagoon. The water here was a brilliant turquoise color, and we got to swim and snorkel in this beautiful spot. The current was a bit strong, so swimming around was a bit challenging, but the water was so clear and the surroundings were so serene that it was definitely worth it. We saw lots of colorful fish and other marine life while we were swimming. We also visited a floating cottage which was built into the side of a cave. It was interesting to explore this unique structure and learn about the history of the area. Along the way, we also stopped at a village called Itbayat, which is known for its traditional houses on stilts. It was interesting to learn about the culture of the Itbayat people and to see how they adapted to living in this mountainous region. We also visited a cave in Itbayat that was filled with thousands of bats. It was fascinating to see these creatures up close and to learn about their role in the ecosystem. Towards the end of the boat ride, we stopped at a few more viewpoints to take in the stunning scenery. The limestone cliffs and caves were truly a sight to behold, and the water was sparkling in the afternoon sun. We also saw some more monkeys along the way and even spotted a family of deer. As we made our way back to the dock, we couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the beauty of this place. The scenery was truly breathtaking, and the adventure was one that we will never forget. Overall, our trip to the Cordillera region was an incredible experience. From the stunning scenery to the friendly locals, we couldn't have asked for a better adventure. The boat ride through the scenic waterways was definitely a highlight, as were the hikes to the hanging coffins and the rice terraces. We hope to go back someday soon and explore more of this beautiful region. Thank you for watching our travel vlog. We hope you enjoyed coming along with us on our adventures in the Cordillera region. If you did, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel content. We would also love to hear about your own travels. So please leave us a comment below and let us know where you've been and what you've seen. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.